Djibouti, as a neighboring country, fully welcomes the assistance provided by the United Nations and developed countries and expresses its appreciation for the continuous and generous contribution to peace-building efforts and humanitarian assistance provided. Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, you will agree with me that the last wave of deadly terrorist attacks targeting the Court of Justice in Mogadishu, as well as the blast of 2 days ago, are major causes for concern for the government of Somalia and its institutions. Moreover, we are all aware in today's globalized world that conflict, terrorist threats, and the piracy endangering the security and the stability of Somalia cannot be confined within its borders. They have spilled over to contaminate in many different ways the neighboring countries, their stability and the security of their people. Those deadly attacks remind us more than ever that we have the collective responsibility to address in an effective way the very challenging security situation in Somalia. I do believe that it is high time to come up with a strong approach aiming to build efficient security sector in line with all the statements made the last couple of years to offer additional support to Somali forces. While acknowledging the efforts and the sacrifices of AMISOM troops to protecting the government and its institutions and ensuring the security in many areas in central and southern parts of Somalia, we need in the short term to create the conditions to provide and implement the necessary technical assistance to reform the security sector. In this regard, I would like to remind you that we have agreed at the last conference in London and thereafter at the Istanbul conference to help Somali government to take over the responsibility for providing for their own security and developing their own justice. Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a window of opportunity. We strongly believe that despite the threat posed by some extremist groups maneuvering the stability and the security of Somalia and the challenges still ahead, the situation is improving significantly in the country. Hope and confidence are back in the streets of Mogadishu and in the hearts and minds of Somali people. Along the political and security process, we need to further strengthen the legitimacy of the government and the ongoing reconciliation process. In doing so, we need to act faster while commending the long-standing and tireless support of the international community. We urge donors, partners, United Nations agencies, and the international community as a whole to take the necessary steps for providing broad support to the reconstruction and the development of Somalia. Development is highly important, and it is indeed the main objective to be achieved if we want to create a conducive environment to maintain peace and speed up the reconciliation process. In this regard, I want to commend the decision made by the IMF to recognize Somalia after 22 years. This is a major milestone. I am confident this recognition will pave the way to a broader support of the financial institution to help Somalia implement structural reforms and promote macroeconomic stability. Furthermore, I urge the IMF and the international community as well to consider clearing all the arrears of Somalia past debts so that it becomes eligible for new financing. We firmly believe that rebuilding the economy is the only way to prevent Somalia to relapse back to internal conflict, political dissensions, warlordism, extremism, piracy, and all the threats which have deeply affected Somalia the last 2 decades. The major outcomes of this conference should squarely focus on how to bring stability in Somalia through the construction of an efficient security and the mobilization of investment opportunities in order to rebuild Somali economy by providing job creation and revenue generation. In this regard, we strongly support the Somali plans aiming to rebuild the security sector, the judiciary, and the financial management system. We hope that the international community will extend the necessary backing to rebuild a peaceful, prosperous, and accountable Somalia. I thank you.